folks, to the arena where we are going to continue with the cantrips, which are no longer banned. You wanted to see this deck again? Keep getting comments asking for the deck again. So, I'll definitely do that. But I've made some changes. I've been working on this deck like crazy and kind of taking hints from other people, plus doing modifications of my own, and this is probably where I will want to keep the deck at the end of the day. This is where I'm personally happy with the deck, and yeah. So now our win con is, we have Banefire as an additional win con, and we still have the Aetherflux Reservoir. I've tested out a couple other things, and I'm happy with having both of these in the deck. So with that said, I want to be able to cast Banefire at other times, so I threw in a couple extra buddy lands in there just to fill it all out there. Revitalize the same, anticipates the same. We threw in 2 blink of an eye here. I think I originally had some, took them out, put them back in, that kind of thing. We got the search for Azcanta, we've got the Ritual of Rejuvenation, we've got 4 Supreme Will, we've got 3 Settle the Wreckage. I'm just happy with the lower mana cost on my board wipe, and just slowing down the opponent enough so that we can stabilize. And then the 4 Primal Amulets and a Cleansing Nova so that we can take out the Paradoxical Storm deck. That's it. That's the one. Got 2 Commit and 4 Nexus of Fate. And it seems to work just great for that. We're up to 24 lands as well. We've got 4 Irrigated Farmland and 3 Zhalfirin Voids and the Arch of Orazca. And that's about the major differences between everything there. And Sideboard. Sideboard's minor differences. Not 100% on that, but like I said, the only thing that's really changing beyond this is 1 and 2 cards through the entire deck to probably get it right where it needs to be. So we've got 2 Authority, Jace's Defeat for Negate, 2 Forsake the Worldly, 2 Renewed Faith for aggro matchups, because needed to... Keld Red. Flame of Keld Red is the generally worst matchup I go up against. So I threw in Renewed Faith as just an additional bit of life gain to cycle through, or just straight out cast if we need to buy ourselves another turn, that kind of thing. And then a Psychic Corrosion for decks that can't deal with the mill. So any decks not running Nexus of Fate or Guy's Blessing, that kind of thing, that we bring in Psychic Corrosion and just mill them out instead. And then we have 3 cast outs at the end. The thing still active is cycling, so we can still get new cards, cycling, and then, you know, control matchups, we're just going to have plenty of time to eventually draw our stuff, so the counterspells seem fine there. So anyways, all intended to buy you tons of time and win the game outright. We have a quest for white and blue, so I think that this is accurate that we should be playing this deck. So let's get in some games and see how this version does. Alright, we're on the draw versus Saloon. Well, if it's a saloon, then, you know. Fetch me a treat, barkeep. Some dark rum. Gotcha. So we've got Azcanta available in this hand. With our opponent doing these kind of things, I'm wondering what we're going to be going up against. Some mono black, something going on. Let's bin that. Let's get to our lands. Perfect. All right, keep going. So what's the big, mean, and nasty you got for me, opponent? Main phase 2, yeah. So he plans on playing something. He just tried to do the main phase 2 trickery. Is there anything that, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna go grab a land. So we can amulet. Get that down under him. Alright, yeah, we'll take that. That's fine. Our opponent may be playing additional creatures, and I'd like to have an answer to them. I mean, we can life gain away Gonti, that's no problem. But anything worse, then I'm going to make him force that to go away. Okay, so he's going to have a creature source.
Good news. Another minion.
The Psychic Corrosion looks like it'll be real good versus his deck when we get there. Library, we want lands. Lots of lands. Okay, I think we're good. We got our land drop going. Liliana doesn't bother me too much other than Bells and Lock. If he has something that we, like, absolutely must counter, like, we don't worry about this right now. If he has something we must counter, then we can try to hunt for it here in a hot minute. Aha! Torment of Hailfire. So that's something we got to watch out for. Not a big deal to us, but we don't want to give him lands yet. And he might try to go for a greed play with a Torment. There's a Cabal Stronghold. That's annoying. Alright, let's take a look. What can we do here? Anticipate. Not bad. We might get this flipped. And if we get it flipped, we get a couple extra turns if we draw a land to go with it. Commit is not bad either. We're going to need land. So we'll just see where this goes. Okay. Brutal! Brutal! Okay, well, we're taking Blink of an Eye then. That is brutal. He found Nexus and all of that. That is gross. Taking Blink of an Eye to bounce Bells and Lock here, so that we can keep our life totals high enough. That's gross.
Death is ever present.
Alright, let's see what he does. We're bouncing Bells and Lock. We need to maintain a life total high enough here so that we can live through that garbage there. And now we hope for a land top deck, unless... No, we can just flip Azcanta to get there, so it's fine. Alright. So we just got to double up Nexus. The rest of it doesn't matter. Discard Banefire. We'll get around to that. Discard Commit, because we'll want to memory. Discard Settle the Wreckage. And we'll just pitch this for now. We'll cast. And, oops, before we draw here. This is how you Nexus, punk! Get a land, play the land. First extra turn. Let's gain some life. And see how impactful our everything is. Not quite enough. How about we just memory then and get our cards back? Alright. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 1 is 18. Nice. Alright, this is how you expel an opponent. Opponent. Stupid phone. I said turn off the ringer. Alright, well. We just showed our opponent how we do our deck better than they do our deck. That probably surprised them a little bit. They probably thought they had that win there. Alright, we're in. We're on the draw versus Perond or Perond or a Johnny. And we have Glacial Fortress and 2 Voids. Technically, that looks okay. Technically. And Azcanta into... well, it depends on how aggressive we see things, but Cleansing Nova helps in all of that. Blue-white. Never mind. I guess we're going to be having one of those days. Do you have a negate? No. Okay. Our lands are good for now, so I'm not worried about the voids quite yet, but I think we might want to start pushing towards some counter spells. Let's see where things go. Our lands are good for now, so bin. Set the void. Set our next scry. And you can come back later. And ship the turn. So, I run into control quite a bit. And for the most part, you just want to, you know, push for all your counter spells and all your lands. Turn. Which means Teferi's next. Great. Well, let's counter that for now.
You are acting unwisely.
Yeah, I know, because Teferi's coming. So bin that. Let's try to get to all the counter spells if possible. It's not working for us that much. How much does he want to fight an amulet? We can't counter anyway, so let's try. Nothing. Missed land drop? That was very quick. Library. We want to be able to fight a Teferi. So that's how we'll do it. So we want to probably go this route with it. Attempt to hit land drop. Okay, we're good. Chip the turn. Glimmer is fine. So they're going to be hunting for land drops. They miss land drops, so that's good for us. We may have to anticipate to something that takes out a Teferi. We'll have to see. Just 100% slam down. We're just going to use the blink of an eye here.
My responsibility.
And he gets his card, true. But he doesn't get to keep his Teferi for now. We get an Irrigated Farmland. That'll
skip
do.
to the good part.
We'll take it. So we'll just try to do the non-countering stuff for now. Let's see if they have a blink of an eye of their own. Oh, they have to discard the hand size. So that's good for us. We're not quite there. We'll library this. We can use our Anticipate and Rituals to flip the amulet, and B, yeah, flip the Azcanta and have our lands ready. He has no Field of Ruins, so by the time he finds one, he'll have to face a choice. So he's going to just 100% slam again. This is where we're going to attempt to punish him, if at all possible. That is awful, by the way. We'll take an Arch of Orazca. Let's take a look again, see if we can get something else. Transform. And anticipate. We're not quite getting there, are we? Alright, well. He is tapped down as it stands right now. So we'll just take all the irrelevant cards, I guess. Another amulet, sure. Wow, we seriously got some irrelevant cards. Oh, there we go. We got a commit. That'll get rid of it, Teferi, for now.
I am not.
Thank you, honey. She's giving me an Oreo. He's going to go for the draw a card, even though we just drew 50 in his attempt to draw 1. Okay, we've got more than enough cards in there. And we're just going to library that one since we're, you know, we're full up. We don't need any more lands going on here. Okay, so Sulfur Falls. That taps all the colorless. Let's get an amulet down. This is where it gets fun. Okay, which spell do I want on top? I think we can accept a disallow for a little while since we're going to have some double spell action going on. So disallow. Wellspring copies. Then Teferi. Teferi gets second from the top, and then disallow goes on top of it. So Teferi is a little ways away now. But never mind, my opponent's just got another one. Silly me.
I won't hide from the world any longer.
And if he just tries, yeah, he can't bury
You know
anything
what?
on us.
I'm not done yet.
We've got an active Azcanta. He has a Teferi. We could probably pull something funky here. But now we're copying spells, so he's got to try a little harder. So let's get the Arch of Orazca down, which makes yet another land our opponent has to think about. And then I have to think about this Teferi. Let's do some stuff at the end of his turn because honestly, none of this really matters. He didn't tap out, so that would have been an opportunity to really punish him if possible. But if we can somehow sneak out like a Nexus of Fate under him or anything like that, then that would be great. But we have nothing he wants to counter here. Why is my stuff highlighted? It's his priority. That's a little weird. Alright. Still no Field of Ruin. Teferi doesn't matter if he never takes another turn with it. And he had another dead draw with an additional Teferi. Okay, so now he wants to just do nothing for a little while. We're going to Revitalize, since it's just 1 mana. And if we get something impactful, we'll take it. It's another amulet. That's pretty good. Okay. Do your thing. And we're just going to Azcanta and attempt to get another amulet down. If he chooses to fight the amulet, well, who cares? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fight me now. So now he knows I have a Nexus of Fate. Which makes it even harder on him right now. So now he has to watch out for that. But I should probably get this doubled spell regardless here. So he knows he has to keep the counter spell for that particular thing, and that particular thing alone. And if he tries to fight anything else, he's going to have a tough time. But I need to make sure I have land drops to maximize, there we go, and any other spells that we can pick up along the way. Or just the Clifftop Retreat. And a Supreme Will's not bad. Let's get this Clifftop Retreat down. Let's get this Amulet down just to totally muck with this guy. And now our spells are ridiculously cheap. So we have to play this, you know, tricky. We don't allow Teferi Ultimate, or we don't allow him to draw cards during said Teferi Ultimate. He's got to play it super careful now. Because we have that Nexus.
We need to move quickly.
I'm not concerned about what he's got going on, but he's going to have to do a little bit more than Teferi at this point in time, because we're about to just drop the hammer on him, honestly. Because doing it at the end of his turn, even if one of them lands, even if he counters both of them, we still have our turn next. Oh, he didn't tap. He has to untap our lands. Nice. Easy. So this is when we fire it. And it doesn't matter if it gets countered. It just matters that he has to use 2 counter spells in order to make it even happen. Yeah. Back into the deck you go. Now this is how we win against control. Is the very few things that happen to occur tax them so hard that they have to keep going. And now we get an extra turn. And this transforms. So an extra turn on their end step. Now we're pretty good. So now that they're tapped and we have 2 turns, I think the primary thing we want to do with a hand like this is just memory. So that is our first extra turn, basically. Let's tap you. You, and what else does it wants to tap exactly Azcanta. Let's get another one down. Let's do a real cool trick that I love doing, and it'll help us flip this. So this is a double copied commit. So we commit the Teferi. This transforms. This one commits the Teferi. And then this one commits the commit, and it goes back into our deck in second from the top. I love doing that. Anyways, with what remains, I suppose we can double anticipate. First one grabbing our commit. And then the second one can go ahead and grab an anticipate, which we'll just use now to burn off. And that gives us yet another anticipate, and so that we can burn that off. And this is our first extra turn, where we find a Banefire and we kill our opponent from here on out. And so now let's see, how much do we want a Banefire for? We have 4. 1. So this is a Banefire for 3 with all of these. So 6. Oh, it's going to do a weird thing here, where we have to cancel and then try it. Well, fine, 8. Banefire for 8. Banefire? Oh, come on! Seriously? That bug? We got him anyway. We had all 4 of them out this time. And even through a bug, we still managed to do it. I tried lowballing it, and I thought maybe I should just set it a little higher in case something's up. And, well, we lucked out anyway. That was cool. So folks, that's the deck as I feel pretty confident in right now. Like, blue-white control, a lot of the games go like that. So you can do a lot of fighting back, but, you know, as the deck's supposed to buy time, it does exactly that. Commit buys time, and Teferi really isn't a big issue. He's just, you know, he's getting your opponent a few extra cards, but the moment they tap down, that's when you got him if you've got a flipped amulet. And it's just a matter of finding that time to force them to tap down. And the double Nexus of Fate, as you saw, it was a situation where we could really just get them. A Nexus backed up by a counterspell was just enough so that they could never play again. And that's exactly what we did. And we had a Banefire to knock them out. And with that, I think the deck is... yeah, deck's pretty solid now. It seems to be right where it needs to be. As I said, Keld Red is the toughest matchup, so that's where you mostly want to be. But I mean, after sideboard and control will also have their negates and so on like that, so you have to have to match them in that sense. So always keep that in mind. Also, I just thought of something that I want to keep you to keep in mind. Control decks will have commit to memory, so Psychic Corrosion is an iffy card in those situations as well. So bring it in when you feel confident that this is your solid win con. Something that can stick to the board. Something like mono black or black red will you not be able to deal with it as effectively, but at the same time, Aetherflux Reservoir is one of those things you deal with black red, but it also gets braided. So since you're weak to a braid, take your pick. It gains you life, but you're weak to a braid. It's a suggestion at best. If you feel that it's worthwhile, go for it. But after that, yeah, that's the deck. And I'm actually content with it. I'm very content with it. I use it definitely as a grinding deck very often when I really want to get some wins in, and people are not expecting things when they start seeing the Revitalize and whatnot. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Here's your extra video. Take care, and bye-bye.